is Asinine Radio. This is the weekly music podcast where every week we get into a different band, different artist, and we break down one of their records. We get into the music, lyrics, how it was made, and everything in between. My name is Tyler, and way out there, hundreds of miles away, is Jeff. While you're listening, go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars. If you're watching on YouTube, smash that subscribe button. That's all I have for the boring intro today. So
boring.
Right now we are in pop disaster season. We're almost done with it. The pop disaster season is where we're doing every band from the famous pop disaster tour from the year 2002, the summer of 2002. We've already done Saves the Day. We've done Jimmy Eat World. And this week, what are we doing, Jeff? What band are we doing and what album are we doing?
We're doing the Green Days and their record Warning.
That's right. Came out in the year 2000. That's why we're doing this record, because this is essentially what the band was touring on at the time. And this is a lot of the songs on that set list were from this album too. So we're getting into Warning. We've done Warning once before on the podcast a long, long time ago in a forgotten episode that's no longer available. So we're breaking it down again. If you've been listening for that long, that's cool. Thank you for listening.
Good. Great.
For still listening. But we're going to take a deeper dive into it this week, and we're going to try to have a good time doing it. So let's get into our origin story with Green Day. Let's get into our first impressions on this album, Warning, and then get into bangers, stinkers, and like I said, everything else. So what do you got? First impressions, go.
I should have confirmed with my mom, but here's how like my trajectory with Green Day had went. Like she had Dookie already at the time, and that was popular, and she loved it. She played it. She played that and Smash a lot, and like Van Halen and everything else. And then Insomniac came out, and she bought that because she's part of the Columbia House Record Music Club thing. And I don't think she liked it very much because she never played it that much, but I listened to it a lot. And I think Nimrod was the first Green Day record that I bought on my own because I don't think she was going to splurge again at that time for Nimrod. But Insomniac was one that I know I gravitated towards because it wasn't Dookie. And I think just inherently like, oh, my mom doesn't know what this is and she doesn't like this, therefore I like it type of thing. So I think Insomniac was really like me getting a more personal interaction with Green Day, whereas Nimrod was like set in stone. And that's why I have so much like heart for Nimrod, is because that's just like my, like me and Green Day are now buds because I went out and bought it. I think I stole it, to be honest. I don't think I bought it. I wasn't buying CDs back then. Let's be real.
How old were we? Were we born in 87? Duke came out in 94, so we were 7 years old.
7 with Dookie, then like 8 or 9 with Insomniac, and then 9 or 10 or 11. Yeah.
With Nimrod, yeah.
But like,
right.
and like when I say I stole CDs, it was like I didn't have a car. I didn't take the bus. Like I couldn't bike that far when I was 11 or 12. So it was really just when my mom went to the mall, I would just go to Warehouse or Sam Goody.
Oh, Sam Goody. Yeah.
Sam Goody, and just fucking steal it. Like, I don't give a fucking shit, dude. Which is crazy to think too. Like the amount of music we digested and listened to before the age of like even 10, right? Compared to like what I see like my kids and them and their friends listening to. Like, damn, bro, by the time I was like by the time we were 15, 16, we had not only like been to shows, but also have downloaded entire discographies of bands we had never heard of or heard one song from, like just fully immersed. And I don't know if that's just a sign of the times or if that's just us in particular. But yeah, it all harkens back to Dookie. My mom liked Dookie as much everybody else did. I had not heard Kerplunk until probably like after Warning. Then I heard Kerplunk.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah. Many, many moons.
All right. My, my origin story is, I'll say it. My cousin, he turned me on to a lot of fucking music. My cousin Brandon, he's a couple years older than us. And yeah, I mean, God, so many bands he's just gotten me into, but Green Day was the first band. Dookie came out in 94. That same year, he was over for some, I don't know. We were hanging out and he put Dookie on and I was blown away. Especially when I Come Around came on, I was just instantly hooked.
So I do like that song.
I was 7 or 8 years old and I fucking loved it so much. Mind you, I was 7 or 8 years old when I heard that song. And so I loved it. And I still do love the song, but I really, really love the record. And I begged my mom can I please get this record, this Green Day record? And she had to talk to my aunt, and and my aunt said, no, it's fine. Brandon has it. Tyler should be fine. It's not. There's some profanity on here, but it's okay. You know, Brandon listens to it, and he's okay. And my mom bought it for me, and that was the first CD I ever got was Green Day's Dookie when I was 7 or 8 years old. And I still have my copy of the CD. I have it on vinyl. I have the deluxe version on vinyl.
Box set.
The box set. Yeah, I have it. I have it all. But yeah, that's my origin story is Dookie when it came, or shortly after it came out through my cousin. And I've just followed this band religiously throughout the years. Also, the very first concert I ever went to that I wanted to go to, not that my parents took me to, but the first concert I ever went to was the Pop Disaster Tour in 2002 when I saw Green Day, Blink-182, Jimmy World. That was the first real concert I had ever gone to in 2002, summer of 2002. So it's cool, man. That's all my origin story. The reason why we're doing this season on the podcast, Green Day in general, it all ties together. So that's my origin story there with the band and Pop Disaster Tour. So let's get into first impressions on Warning. Their album from 2000, often overlooked record, especially from this era of the band, because after this they put out American Idiot, and they exploded once again. 10 years later, they're just as famous, if not more famous, than they were with Dookie. So, Warning, that's what we're doing. First impressions. What do you got? Banger stinkers. Go.
So like, I was never an aggressive punker kid in this era leading up to it. I mean, pop punk was a thing, but pop punk was never aggressive. So when Warning hit, I love this record. I've always liked this record. I've never hated it. I've never appreciated it for what it is until honestly like this week. I think this is even on a different fucking level of like Green Day songwriting. But I've always liked this record. I've never had anything negative to say about it. But this is one that's been often overlooked, often underappreciated, often just forgotten about until like recent years. In the past like 5-10 years, there's been a resurgence of people that have like, holy fuck, Warning is good because Green Day has put out so much garbage. So I think people have gone back, and I don't think this is no longer like an underrated record. This is an adequately rated record for Green Day in the discography because people love this. You can tell by this plays on Spotify. So I don't know. My origin story with this record is like I got it on the Columbia House thing. Like this is a CD that I had like when it came out.
Like in 2000, you were still doing Columbia House?
Dude, it was a fucking penny. Although you paid, I think it was like $60 or whatever, but
yeah.
But it was still fucking cheap. Yeah, this was before. I mean, this is like right around when we started high school.
We never did the Columbia House thing at our house, so I was never.
Really?
I mean, I always knew about it. Yeah, we always knew about it, but my parents never really listened to music, like outside of my mom listening to 70s and 80s stuff. She never bought like modern CDs, and when she did, she would just go to like the Warehouse or Tower Records or Best Buy or whatever and buy the CD. But she was never that big on like new music. She already had everything she wanted. My dad just never really listened to music. He just listened to talk radio. So
it's like my mom being like younger, definitely was just always like buying whatever. And especially, and again, I think it's bizarre. This is the demographic or the time change between like when we were kids versus like when kids are kids now, how much like we were invested in music and how much we ear to the ground type of thing without the advent of the internet, without like how the fuck do we know what's going on except for watching MTV or listening to our friends. But yeah, dude, like so many CDs. I mean, we had like every Dave Matthews fucking record at some point, but we didn't like it, so like we got rid of them. I don't know what my mom did with them, but like every Third Eye Blind record that came out after the first one, we got those ones. Every Nirvana record, we had those ones. Like we had everything, like everything. I wonder if we had Smashing Pumpkins. I just didn't like it back then.
You probably did, yeah.
But yeah, we got everything because they would
CDs.
just send fucking like a box, dude. And there was fucking like 20 CDs in that box.
What a dream! Like for me, that would be just like such a fucking dream. But my parents were never. They were always like, no, that's a ripoff. No, it's too much money. That's a ripoff. I'm like, it's a penny. And it's like then they would say, no, it's not a penny. You have to pay all this money to do it, and then it's a penny. I think it was like
$60 for the first CD, and then like $1 for every CD after that. And then
which is still such a good deal.
Yeah.
Honestly,
And like
it is.
we use the fuck out of it. Like I distinctly remember like my book filled up fucking like within like a month or two just because we ordered so much, and then I would give that book to like a neighbor or something because I'm done with it because they're CDs, right? Like I can get fucking more. Like, what do I know? But anyway, like Warning, like I've never disliked Warning. I've always liked Warning,
Mhm.
but it's not like their best record or anything. But like I've always liked Warning. But I will say, this week after doing like a deeper dive and hearing a fuck ton of Kinks and a fuck ton of other bands on this record, I appreciate Billy Joel and like his songwriting.
Billy Joel, yes.
Billy Joel's, and
Billy
like
Joel.
and like that he didn't like hide his inspirations in any capacity. It's fucking rad.
Yeah, first impressions with me. I mean, I've got every Green Day record from Dookie until this album, Warning, and Shenanigans. I got Shenanigans when that came out. When that album came out too, I got it the day they came out. Insomniac the day that came out, I bought it. Nimrod as well. Warning, Shenanigans. I fucking love this fucking band. And when Minority came out, Minority was the first single that came out. That I remember that I distinctly remember that video premiering on TRL back in the day,
Same.
Total Request Live. I distinctly remember it, and I remember before the episode they were like, "We're gonna world premiere a new Green Day video." I got to my VCR, I had my tape in there, I was ready to
Same.
record. I recorded the video to Minority, and I just watched it over and over and over and over and over, like countless times with by
What is it
myself.
about that video?
Friend of the pod, Sean, we watched it all the fucking time too. It was just we were obsessed with that video, and when the album dropped, Sean and I would just fucking love this record too. It was just we were always playing Warning, like it just. I have so much nostalgia for this record, and even outside of the nostalgia, this is just a perfectly crafted record. It has some of the punk elements from the early days, but it has so much of the Nimrod stuff, but done in a better way, in a more unique way. It's just expanded Nimrod in a good way, bizarre way, different way. I love it. I that's my first impression on it. It's so different. There's no record from Green Day's catalog that sounds like Warning. Not even close. Not even Nimrod
true.
sounds like Warning. Warning is truly the most unique record they've ever put out, and it's fucking fantastic. I love this album to death. So
I guess
that's my
like
first impression.
I mean like Minority is my number one B. It's my biggest banger. I have crazy nostalgia with it, and again like you, I don't know what drew me to that video so much. I think it's because like at that time, that's when we first like learned how to like really grasp the VCR, and we were fucking good at it. Like we learned how to use it a year or two prior, but in this era, like we were good at it, right?
Totally.
The tape was fucking loaded, ready to go. All I had to do was press record.
Yep.
But that video from Minority, dude, like I distinctly remembered I had several tapes. Like this is my punk tape, and this is one like when I knew when I was watching like Headbangers Ball or something, whatever. Like I would have different genres, but then Minority video, and it's not even that great of a video.
No, it's not. It's fine.
But like I love that video, and I still love it. Like it hits this fucking. I don't know what it is, dude.
I can't explain it.
I can't articulate
when in
it.
the end, like the video for Warning is a way better video than Minority.
Absolutely.
100% better video, but there's something about Minority, that video, that just maybe it's just because it was the first single and it was something that got us into this record. That's probably what it is, because it's a pretty generic video. It's really just them performing on a float in a parade, and there's people dancing
Nothing
around
happens.
them.
Yeah, nothing happens.
It's
I remember that
It's
girl.
essentially a performance video.
That girl with the baton, always fucking mouthing off and looking at the camera, and everyone looked so goth and punk, and I was like, oh my god, is this what high school is going to be like? It was just like uncharted territory.
I remember like a couple of the girls in the video, I'm like, oh my god, they're so hot. They're so hot. Like a couple of those like goth girls were like, oh shit, they're so fucking hot. Oh my god, they're so hot.
It was like I went from like
dope.
essentially like a Mexican middle school, and then I moved in with my dad, and I was going to like a predominantly white high school, and I remember just freaking out, dude. Like fucking A, man, I have no idea what to expect here. And that's what was nice having Angel, because I knew Angel from playing T-ball in Anaheim, so like I had one friend there. But like, yeah, dude, joining Esperanza was wild. And Minority always felt like fuck, man, if this is what high school's going to be like, I'm fucked, because I have no idea.
This is what high school's going to be like. And then
what to do.
You go to a high school you only know one person at. You and I meet freshman year, first semester of freshman year in 01. And fucking now we're here making a podcast in 2020.
Dick around constantly.
24 years later.
It did help that our high school was so big that like nobody gave a fuck about anybody.
True, man.
Like we didn't get the real high school experience because our high school was so big.
Yeah, 3,000 fucking kids.
Yeah,
3,000 kids in our high school.
a lot of people.
Nuts. But anyway, so do we? I mean, obviously, we're gonna get into Minority first since we're already talking about it. But real quick, do we have any stinkers on this record?
I have no stinkers.
Same here. How many bangers do you have?
I have one song that is a truly okay song, and then I have two songs that I think are top tier fillers.
Okay, so you have 12 bangers.
I
I have 12 bangers as well. So let's get into Minority since we're already on this song and the video. So where does this sit? Oh, this is your number 1B, right?
This is my number 1B.
Okay.
I can't. No, I can't. I just can't.
This is
I
my
can't
2B.
even.
This is my
Can't
2B.
even.
I want to put this at 1, but there's just one song better than this. So yeah, Minority is my number 2 banger, my 2B. So let's get into the music a little bit. It starts with the acoustic guitar. Just
It starts with the "My Name Is Jonas" intro, right?
essentially, yeah. You get the single hit snare, the single snare hit from Trey, and then it just drops into this fucking incredible, catchy, bouncy pop rock song. It's truly incredible.
This song is
right?
wild because like it goes right into the chorus, right? We get verses spread across like the song in various spots and in a very early bridge for some reason. This is their most like hey, let's take a normal structure and just like chat GPT randomize it, that shit. And I think that's what we get here because we go right into the chorus. And I think it works because like right after that acoustic part, we're immediately thrown into it. And then we're allowed to like relax a little bit. And it kind of like flips the whole like songwriting structure on its head, which is very unfolk like. And like I'll use the folk punk over the course of this record because this record is their folk punk record. So I'll use that a lot.
100%.
But this is very unfolk like. Folk sticks to a very traditional like storytelling I don't know, schematic, and I like that this is so, like second to last track on the record, and it kind of flips that on its head. And yeah, it's a perfect song. I love the harmonica so fucking much.
I know.
Remember
And I'm not a big fan of the harmonica, but they kill it on this record. This whole record, the harmonica kills it.
I remember. Okay,
Love
so like another thing about the video, I think I like this song a lot, and it strikes such a chord with me because after I recorded it and I'm playing back the tape, like I know I had to like play the tape back when my dad wasn't like right in the fucking room because I know he would have been all pissed off about the "fuck 'em all" part. So like this song had to have. Yeah, but I couldn't not say "fuck 'em all." That's silly boy talk. Like I'm not gonna fucking not do it. But like my dad's been known to break CDs that have middle fingers on them, Kid Rock. So like I had to play this when he was like doing something else to get through like a 3-minute and then get into like normal like beats, the Intergalactic after this or whatever the fuck it was. But every single time, even still to this day, if I ever hear this, I will never not say "fuck 'em all" both times that he says it.
I mean, and you know, in the rankings episode, I was complaining so much about like the Theater Kid stuff. There's a lot of Theater Kid stuff on this particular song.
Yes, Minority. Yes,
but
absolutely.
it seems, but it's also like so much more authentic, and they weren't trying to like be a fucking. They weren't wearing costumes and all that kind of stuff. They weren't trying to be something so deliberate. You know what? That's what it is. They weren't trying to be deliberate about being Theater Kid. It was more natural on this song.
Progression. This is the perfect like middle ground between Nimrod and American
Honestly,
Idiot.
Yeah. Honestly, it is.
They are graduating towards that.
They're graduating toward that. So also this song is a very short song. It's just under 3 minutes, but there's so much here. Like you mentioned, after that first snare hit, it drops right into the chorus straight away. That really catchy, bouncy chorus, and then you get into the verses. It's very, very swingy. The awesome fucking bass line from Mike Dirnt. Just absolutely nailing that bass line. And Trey doing the kind of shuffle rolls and everything on the drums. It's incredible. And Trey, in the end, is just a truly phenomenal drummer, and he deserves every bit of credit he's ever received. He's so fucking good.
He's so fucking good.
In every genre, too. Like, there was that thing, remember a few weeks ago?
The jazz thing that he...
The jazz thing where he was hanging out with Billy Joe, and Trey just got up. Like, they asked him to come play drums, some jazz trio or quartet. They asked him to come up, and he came up and just fucking jammed with them for like 10 minutes. Just fucking destroyed it. Like the guy can play. He's so versatile.
He's really, really good.
Fucking incredible. Dude, what are you doing, George? Fucking stupid.
George. That's what happens when you're a child prodigy and you're thrown into a band that's older than you are, and you
Yeah.
are. I mean, that's why he has a wife that's like fucking half his age, right?
Yeah, I mean, Trey Cool was what 13, 14 years old when he was hired by a bunch of 30-year-olds to play in what was that band called again? I don't remember now.
So like Gary, I don't know if it was Gary Livermore, somebody Livermore, the guy who owned Lookout Records. He was like our age now, and he hired this like 13-year-old to play and liked him, and then hooked him up with Green Day, which I mean like different time, different place, whatever. Hindsight, that shit's fucking weird, dude.
Yeah.
So bizarre. Good choice on everybody's end, but still fucking weird.
Yeah, it is. But my Minority, I mean, it's like I said, it's a killer song. The bridge is really great too. The harmonica kind of plays throughout parts of the song, but it really shines in the bridge. It just works so fucking well. That build up back into the chorus from that bridge, fucking awesome. It's short and sweet, perfect. It's a truly perfect song. I love it. Lyrically, this is where they're starting to get into more political lyrics, which they did a lot of on American Idiot, which is just so funny in hindsight because it's like they're like talking about anti-authority and all this kind of stuff, but yet they at the time they're so pro John Kerry because he just wasn't Bush. But it's like, damn, dude, John Kerry was not great
That was
at all.
I mean that was a very fun time for music and politics because there was so much. That was so much of like just go vote, right? Like I don't give a fuck who you vote for. I remember
Vote, yeah.
it didn't
Vote harder.
that,
Vote harder.
it didn't age well, but like I remember like P Diddy going out like I don't give a fuck who you vote for, just go vote. He's like, oh man, dude, like this is where we're at right now. Okay, like musicians are just doing this thing now. Okay,
But
this is
it's
a very-
so funny. Like even to this day, like the last election cycle, you know, celebrities for what it's. I mean, celebrities are fucking useless anyway. Nobody should ever listen to them, but they're going out. Just vote. Right? Just vote. Just get out there and vote. Get out there and vote. It's your right. Just get out there and vote. But we all know who they want you to vote for. You know, it's just
Yeah.
like they're saying go vote, but it's like the moment you vote against who they don't want you to vote for, then it's a huge.
Then it's a
fucking
big deal. Then it's a big deal.
It's so stupid. It's all so performative. It's gotten to the point now where it's so obviously performative. Everything, elections, everything we see on TV. You saw this fucking shit with Katy Perry and those other billionaires with Bezos
man.
with going into space and how incredibly
Like 12,
performative that
12
was.
seconds or whatever the fuck it was.
6 minutes, and then did you see the videos of like it had crash landed already, and they opened up the door and they're like, oh no, wait,
Kissing the ground.
close the door because we have to have Jeff
Oh, yeah,
Bezos
yeah.
come over and open it up with like wire,
Yeah.
like bolt cutters and shit. It's like, come on, man. There's cameras everywhere. You think people
Which doesn't
really
make any
believe
sense
this?
because the Earth is flat anyway. So I don't know how they went up there anyway. So
That's true. And
And
space
space
is
is just
actually
water.
water. Yeah, it's
So
not.
that doesn't make any sense. But like, why the fuck is Katy Perry up there? And fuck that girl, dude. Who
And then
cares?
like Gail,
Ugh.
Oprah's wife or best friend or whatever.
Ugh,
Yeah. Anyway,
fuck off.
I don't want to get all into that. It's stupid. But anyway, in the end, this is the beginning of them getting a little bit more political in their with their lyrics and everything. And what he's talking about here is standing up for your beliefs, not following along blindly to the powers that be. Which, you know, is cool. It's good. I agree with that. But then the irony of it is once you get to American Idiot, this band, especially Billy Joe, is so, you know, tunnel vision on the Democratic Party and John Kerry, and it's like, come on, man, just did not age well at all, like you mentioned.
Yeah, it's very tough to listen to, and yeah, the whole Rock Against Bush era was fun and it was fine, but like we still had shitty voter turnout. Like nobody gave a fuck.
Yep.
So I don't know. Whatever.
What are you gonna do?
Bush
Even
was the
still.
worst though.
Even still, does it really matter in the end? Who knows?
Something's on my mind. It's been for quite some time. What song do you think
so-
is better than Minority?
Castaway. Come on, man.
Oh God,
Come on.
that's my only song that's an okay song.
You are the fucking
Nah, I'm
dumbest
just kidding. I'm just kidding.
motherfucker.
I'm just
Okay.
kidding. I'm just kidding.
God, that would have been just one of the dumbest things you could have ever said. if
Just
this is
kidding.
this is an okay or filler song. Because Castaway, I would say is
better than Minority though.
I would say Castaway is the catchiest song they've ever made. I mean, every part of Castaway, every section of this song, chorus, pre-chorus, verse, the riff, the drum beat, everything
Lost
is
and found, trouble
trouble
bound.
bound. And
That's
then
my favorite
the
part.
drum, the fucking, oh, it's so good. Every section of this song
Okay.
is equally catchy as the other section. There's not, honestly, like normally the chorus is supposed to be the hook. That's supposed to be the catchiest part. And you listen to the chorus and you're like, damn, dude, this is really good. But then you get into the verse again and you're like, wow, this verse is even, it might be better than the chorus, but I don't know. But then you get to the chorus and you're like, oh fuck, you're constantly flip flopping. That's the sign of a great fucking song. God damn, it's good. And Mike Dirnt rips it up on the bass too.
He does.
Oi, oi.
He comes through so nicely
hell.
in that later verse when it's just him and Billy Joel with the drum beat, right?
Billy
It's
Joel.
like,
Yeah.
and like it comes through really nicely and it sounds nice. But yeah, like I love the cleaner guitar tone in that main riff. It's just enough like grit, but still very, very sleek. There's some claps thrown out like in the song too. Not like
Yep.
double claps. We just get one clap. Why do we get one clap? I don't know. Fuck it. Who cares? But this adds more to like just this being a folk song. This is like a cool little like folk punk
Yeah.
rock tune, and it's
It
cool.
is very folky, huh? I didn't even really, but you're right. Yeah, it is very folky.
I mean, like this first of all, this entire record is extremely
It is.
folky, and more songs on that. But again, like I said when I was jokingly, but like legit, one of my favorite parts of this entire record is that "Lost and Found, Trouble Bound." When he says
is.
that, that's like one of my favorite parts of the entire record.
I totally agree because he
It's
lets
just
he lets
instant
the
build up.
he lets the chord ring out, the lost and the
Lost and
do boom.
Bam. Just away. I'm like, oh, come on. Yes.
Goes into that super catchy, really basic kind of riff too. Like it's not this complicated riff. I fucking love it. I love this
it's
song
good.
so much.
No, it's good. This
What-
is my
what beat is it?
4B, but I mean, I don't know. Like
I love it so
my
much, but it's your 4B.
I think my six Bs, except for Minority, probably could be semi interchangeable. Like they're I mean, this is a beyond banger. Like if we're talking about this is a beyond banger.
Yeah,
I don't know if I put it like in their top 10 Green Day songs of all time, but it's a good song.
it's close. It's close to top 10. I mean, it's really close to top 10, if not top 10. God damn, I love Castaway. Nobody talks about this. And how was this song not a single? How was there no video made for this? They made a video for Warning, Minority, Waiting, and Macy's Day Parade, but not Castaway. Like Castaway is hands down the catchiest, poppiest song on this whole record. It's insane. They did this. They did Waiting over this. Come on, Waiting's catchy, but
Waiting's the only song on the record that I listed as truly an okay song.
I listed it low too. But we'll get into that in a bit. But Castaway, I don't know, lyrically, I think we've kind of exhausted it musically, but that bridge too, the bridge where it's just the drums and Mike on the bass, just like that doom gat, and he's doing that simple kind of bass line. Billy Joel comes in with the vocals, no guitar, and he's kind of doing his own thing, and then it builds a little bit and drops right back into the chorus. Fucking so good. It gets a little bit grittier with the vocals, like he just kind of not yells or screams, but he just kind of gets this like guttural thing. Oh man, there's so much nuance on this record, so much nuance on this song. God, this record is incredible. That's why I rank it so high, because there's so many things you could focus on and pick out, and that they've never done before. That is so good.
I do find it interesting that you rank this record so high, but like you don't really like folk music, and like
This is like one of the best folk records ever made.
that's wild. But and then also like the Kinks, right? The Kinks are all over this fucking record,
Oh yeah, totally.
all over this shit. And the Kinks are like some of the earliest punkers of all time, just using distortion and normal like pop chords that of the time. So I mean, this is a great record, but it's very. I don't want to say like derivative, because it's
not. But it's not derivative.
but it is like it is taking something that has already existed and diluting it into its own thing, but in doing so it created something that's never existed before.
I think diluted is the wrong word. I think they just took such inspiration and took elements of various genres and made it the Green Day sound, especially with Billy Joel, who has such a distinct voice, especially in the '90s. Like I mentioned on the rankings episode, nobody sounds like '90s Billy Joel. He's just so it's just so unique. You know it right away, and this is the last record you really get of that signature vocal sound. But that's also what I love about it so much too, because you could throw anything behind Billy's vocals in this era, and it's pretty much always going to sound good and unique. And they just kind of they really electrified the King sound, the Bob Dylan stuff, the inspiration here. They electrified it. They added the pop punk to it. So I wouldn't say it's what they took was diluted. It's just inspired them, and they've configured it differently to make it more modern. And
I mean, for sure,
God
it
damn, this
inspired them.
record's so
It
good.
inspired them to the point where they are ripping off fucking note for note,
But
like
you
riffs
you
through
could
and
say
through.
that with any band. You could say
And
like
I do say it with any
you
band.
could
I
say
say it
like
all the fucking
fucking-
time.
every fucking band you could say that. So I mean,
Every time we go through
you're
a
just-
band and like go through discography, I point it out and I say, "Oh yeah, this is where they're ripping them off." And I don't say ripping them off in the way that I think Zeppelin ripped off, because Zeppelin ripped off people and pretended they didn't, and they got caught for doing it, and like forever that's a stain on Zeppelin's legacy. But all the bands we talk
Barely
about,
a
like
stain,
that's still ripping off. Like they're still ripping off. Like you took something that wasn't yours, but you're paying royalties, so therefore like it's a good thing. Ripping off doesn't have to be like I mean, it sounds like a bad thing. I just don't know a better word for ripping off. Paying
Borrowing?
homage, but it's not.
borrowing.
But it's not. It's not borrowing. Because like you're taking something that's like clearly this, and you're making it this. That sounds exactly the same. You're just dancing around it a little bit. But at least you're paying
Extrapolating.
money.
No, I don't know. So in the end, we don't have a lot of bad things to
Something's
say
on
about
my
this
mind.
record. So we're just gonna kind of be nitpicking some of the negative stuff more than we would normally, because this record is so fucking amazing anyway.
I'm gonna nitpick. I'm gonna go over all the folk stuff, and then now we're gonna get into like why you don't like folk music, and I'm gonna make fun of you because this
Maybe-
record is a folk punk record.
Maybe I'll go listen to some more folk music, and maybe some more Bob Dylan, even though I hate Bob Dylan.
I think you should
I'll
go
go
listen to more like early Kinks. Like that's where it's
I
at.
do like the Kinks. I do like the Kinks.
Not talking about like you really got me. You really
Well,
got me.
yeah, okay, yeah, I know
Even though Van Halen did that song best, but
they did, but I mean, Van Halen does everything best.
that's true.
Lyrically on Castaway, it's about like underlying depression, him being a loner, not really knowing what to do with his life. That's kind of what I got here. Like he's so despondent, like he doesn't really have any friends or family, nothing like that. That's what it is. It's just a feeling of depression, desperation, loneliness. So
I'm just thinking about like, wouldn't that be a dope Van Halen shirt? Van Halen does everything best.
or Van Halen does everything better. Like that would be
That'd be
that would
so
more
fucking
appropriate.
cool.
We should make it. We should start an Asinine Radio clothing line. You know, and then just have a shirt with just every no list thing on there.
And then
Yeah,
every
it
year
is
we
what
could
it is.
update it. It could get longer and longer. What else is on the no list? You said something like I don't do this often or whatever the fuck you say all the time. We talked
Yeah,
about
I think
Discord.
no, Skip. Yeah. Friend of the pod, Skip said we should add to the no list. When I give perfect 3 out of 3s, and I say I don't do this very often, but it's a perfect 3 out of 3.
There it is.
That's what he said. We should add to the
Yeah.
no list,
Okay.
which we shouldn't, because sometimes
You know,
sometimes albums are 3 out of 3.
sometimes they are. Not all the time
So
though.
let's get into what was your 2B?
You're not gonna like it.
Okay.
I don't think you'll like it, but
I know it's not
Fashion
waiting.
Victim is my 2B.
Really that high, huh?
That high.
That's my number 9. Okay, let's get into this. What do you got?
I think this is like peak folk punk for them. This is an incredible melody, and then we get like those woes in the bridge,
I
and we
love
get a
those
whole
woes.
new kind of like
Yeah.
level of like folk punk here. All while Trey like is doing this little cool bluesy drum beat under everything. This little like kind of like Ringo-esque shuffle under everything. And I think this is them writing like their best folk punk song. And they do both of it all over this record, and later on, what is another song here? Fucking, I think Deadbeat Holiday. No, hold
yeah.
on. No, hold on. Hold on is the other song that I think is like just like strictly like folky track.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Fashion Victim is them at their peak folk punk.
Okay, I can hear the folk here. I think you put this way too high. I don't think it's a bad song whatsoever, but goddamn, there are way better songs than this on here. I still ranked it 9 out of 12 on here, but it's a fun little riff. It's honestly a fun little riff. I love Trey's beat. I think it really elevates the song because he's such a killer fucking drummer. But in the end, the hooks, the choruses, they don't hit as hard. Like they're just not quite as catchy. So it's just
It's a slow, deliberate burn. That
it is, but it becomes a little bit monotonous. It becomes a little not that's necessarily a bad thing.
That's folk, dude. That's storytelling.
I agree, but he's not really telling like that great of a story. You know what I mean? Like folk
because he's not a
music is
great
meant
storyteller yet.
Exactly. So writing a
He's
song
trying
where,
though.
I get it. Trying is great. It's fine, but it's not going to make for a great song if you're not telling.
But I
that
do
great
think
of
it
a
makes
story.
for a great song. I'm like, holy fuck, man! Like I see what you're trying to do. You are trying to channel like your Bob Dylan, even though like the only two people on earth who think Bob Dylan is overrated is you and fucking Butthole Skip. So I
mean,
think
he really is
you're
overrated.
trying. He's 100% the greatest songwriter that's ever been in music history. So calm down there,
You
girl.
need to get your gogs off. Your
My
goggles
googs, my googogs.
nostalgia. You're nostalgic.
Nostalgia.
And the dogs are going crazy.
See, even Rupert's mad.
Dogs are going crazy. And if you're watching on YouTube or Spotify, you can see Rupert right here, and he's mad at George because George is fucking with him, and Rupert's had enough of this shit.
No, Rupert's mad because you keep saying weird fucking words that aren't even in the language. Googes and goggles and all goggles was in the English language. I was trying to say something weird, but then it came out just normal. No,
Anyway.
but Fashion Victim is truly just like a folk fucking song, dude. Through
It
and
is.
through. The way it's set up, the way it plays out, how it kind of goes nowhere, but it stays flat, but has a strong melody to it. Dude, this song is fucking amazing. I like folk music a lot, and this is true like the Bob Dylan of their. I should say like maybe like a Joanne Baez kind of, because Bob Dylan doesn't really have a lot of melody to his folk songs in the early days. More like a Joanne Baez folk song for this record.
Okay.
It's good.
It's a good song. Lyrically, it's just about how people can be so obsessed with labels, expensive things, but in the end, that doesn't make up for their shitty personalities and how they treat people, and just their viewpoints. So it's that criticizing consumerism and essentially just criticizing rich people, even though these guys are fucking rich too. So
Then
there
when
you
he
go.
goes like, "What's your name?" He does those things too, like those like classic call and response in like folk music where you're asking for audience participation. That's what's happening here. But
Yeah.
okay, that's fine. You hate this song.
And you mentioned the woes too. I think the woes are fantastic in the bridge. Love the woes.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. And that's like the part of the song where everyone's getting together, the kumbaya part, right?
Mm.
Dude, this
You hear
song
the dogs?
this song is a fucking folk song through and through. Yeah, hear the dogs?
It's so
What are they
annoying.
doing? Chilling? Why?
No, Rupert's he's pissed and he's pissed at
Heard you
George.
say his
and-
name.
I know. You saw him look at me, and then George is growling at him too because George wants to play and Rupert doesn't want to play. God damn.
They're just dogs, bro. They're just
They're
chilling.
They're just dogs.
Everyone's just trying to have a good time except for you. What's
Except for
going
me.
on?
Yeah, I'm miserable. I'm miserable.
I know
'Cause
you
I'm having
are.
to talk about Fashion Victim. Okay, so Fashion Victim is your 2B, which is, it's okay to be wrong sometimes, and you are wrong. So my number 2 was Minority, which we already talked about. So do we want to get into your number 3?
What was your number 1? Oh, Castaway.
Castaway.
Castaway. My number 3 is Misery. Misery.
My number 3 is also Misery. Let's get into it, baby.
Good girl.
Yeah.
Good girl. This
Let's do it.
is a perfect example of proper organ placement.
Yes.
Damn near the only time I've heard in pop punk music proper organ placement. No, not in fucking Damn It, even though Mark is fucking severely emotionally underdeveloped. No, not in Wendy Clear. Nowhere on Enema of the State. This is proper organ placement, baby girls. The bass in the song gets so low. This song is also a good indication of like their experimentation in the theater kid stuff, and
Yeah.
it's only going to get stronger. This is
this is
the
peak.
bridge.
No,
This is the
But
bridge to American Idiot. If you heard this song and are surprised, like, "Oh, on American Idiot, oh, what? I can't believe they did this," then you weren't listening. This is wild. This is exactly the bridge to American Idiot.
I understand
through
what
and
you're
through.
saying, but when they do this kind of stuff on American Idiot, this is a great like I said, this is a great polka gypsy kind of feel, has a great polka gypsy kind of feel to it.
Yeah, for sure.
Trey's drumming is so good on this one. It's very subtle, but the rolls and the fills are just perfectly placed and just played in general. The simple bass line from Mike Dirnt is incredible, and just he plays to the goddamn song. It's fucking good. The accordion, I do love me some accordion. The mandolin, the violins. There's so
this
much
song
going
is
on.
all about
throughout the
layers.
song.
This song is all about this being as over the top as you can possibly be. And yeah, the gypsy punk thing is spot on. And this is, you know, like right around the time like Google Burdell is coming out. And so not that it like existed before, it didn't exist before that, but this is when everyone is now listening and thinking like, oh damn, if Green Day's doing this, this could be a genre. But yes, dude, this is the appetizer for American Idiots. I mean, like, we're getting My Chemical Romance before they even became a fucking thing. That's what this song is. This is My Chemical Romance before they were in a fucking band. This is ambitious. This is impressive. This is great.
Hold on. Anyway, let's move on.
Misery.
Get back into
We're wrapping up Misery
it.
here.
Wrapping up Misery. This
And-
is a great
and-
song. It's 5 minutes long. 5 minutes long. The longest song on the record. One of the longest songs they've put out outside of like the big Jesus of Suburbia, the pretentious stuff later on. But no, this is truly a unique song in their whole discography as well. I really love this song. I love all the different instruments on it. I love
There's
that the
so
whole
much. There's so
gypsy
much
punk
percussion
thing.
on here. There's so much going on here.
There's even like in the bridge, there's like that circusy thing too, which is fun. It's silly, goofy, but it's fun. Love it. Love this song.
I
Man.
mean, again, it steps towards American Idiot. We've heard King for a Day, that was deep in the track listing. Now we get Misery, which is like 6 songs deep, but it's not that different from Blood, Sex, and Booze, which is the second track on this record.
True.
So we're getting like baby steps towards American Idiot. And after this record dropped, and everybody fucking hated it, and everyone like, oh, Green Day's fucking ridiculous. And even like Green Day, even like Billy Joel, like the whole story where Billy Joel's arms, Haley Joel Osment. Billy Joel Osment.
You're
Remember
all
Haley-
over what?
Remember
Haley
Haley Joel
Joel
Osment?
Yeah,
Osment. Is it Osment or
Osmond.
Osment?
Osmond.
Like Donny Osmond?
Like Donny Osmond. Yeah, Donny and Marie Osmond. Yeah.
I think it's Osment with a T. But
I don't think it's a T, but okay, yeah, continue.
No, I bet. Stop it. I don't even know where that train of thought was going.
I don't know either.
Oh yeah, there was a thing where Billy Joel's supposedly called Mike Dirnt and was like, dude, do you want to fucking do this anymore? And like before American Idiot came out, after this came out, because it wasn't well received and people fucking hated it, and it was like they're Pinkerton and like no one understood it, and I was like blah 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 blah. Who gives a fucking shit? Because this is the next step towards American Idiot. This is something so fucking different, so vastly different than what. This is kind of going to wrap up. I'll save a little bit for later. Circle back.
Okay.
Circle back.
Okay, fine. Also,
I don't want to
let's-
give it all away right now.
Yeah, no, I get it. And so let's get into the lyrics real quick. And I do want to say something about this era of the band as well, because it goes into Pop Disaster, the Pop Disaster tour, and this whole Pop Disaster season. So lyrically, I do like the lyrics on this one. It tells various stories of people who made bad decisions and the consequences of those bad decisions. So it talks about, a lot lizard down in Florida, getting killed, and just people just making, like I said, bad decisions and the consequences. So every verse has like 2 different short stories, I guess you could call them. So I think it's just it's good world building. It's good storytelling. I think this song is great lyrically. I honestly think it's great lyrically, and the way it just kind of trudges along that doom, 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 just that just really simple fucking bass line, and Trey ripping it up on the drums, keeping it simple, stupid, So I love this song, love it.
Call me stupid.
Yes, 100%. I called you stupid. So I do really enjoy this song. Now, with the Pop Disaster tour and Pop Disaster season on the podcast, This came out in 2000. Pop Disaster Tour was in the summer of 2002. Blink 182 were at the top of their game. They were the biggest pop punk band, I would argue, in the world. They decided
For
to do
sure
this
they
tour
were.
with Green Day, and Green Day said, almost reluctantly, I feel, they said, okay,
I
we'll do
guess.
that, I guess, even though their popularity had waned quite a bit at this point, especially with the flop that was this album Warning. And in Mark Hoppus's book from Blink, I don't know, you
Don't
have
get spoilers.
I'm not going to give you spoilers, but he does talk about the Pop Disaster Tour and how there were certain people in Green Day who were they didn't really want to do the tour, and they were dismissive of Blink, and he just kind of said that there were some shady things that happened during this tour. I would talk about it, but I would spoil it for you and people who haven't read Mark's book. But
We
there
can get
were
there next week.
we could get there next week because we're going to be talking about Blink next week. So, but yeah, no, Mark was talking about things that happened before the tour and during this tour regarding Green Day and some resentment, let's just say, from Green Day's side, and how it was to the point where Blink were billed above Green Day, so they were closing out the show. But Green
As
Day,
they fucking should be.
as they should at this time, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
At this time. But then, but Mark talks about in the book too that Green Day, because of that, Green Day stepped up their act and they perfected their set, 100% perfected their set. And then Blink were like, oh fuck, we're still fucking around. We're idiots, fucking up our own songs. Like we look like fucking dumbasses up on stage because we're closing out the show and Green Day is outperforming us. And and Mark talks about like how Blink, like partway through the tour, they really stepped up their own game and started playing better, telling better jokes, and just not getting as crazy as they were before. But yeah,
That's absolutely true. Absolutely.
But in the end, yeah, it's just Green Day they just weren't nearly as popular anymore at this point.
No, and that's fine. Like 94 to Enema of the State, like Green Day's on top of the world, untouchable. But Enema of the State drops, and like now you got some competition, fuck boys. Like you need to step it up a little bit. You need to write better songs. You need to just be better. This is the hot new thing right now. And they came out with this. And again, this goes into my record wrap up later on, so I'll get into that later on. But let's get more into our bangers.
Okay, so yeah, some more bangers. What do you got for your 4B then? Because this is both of our 3Bs. What do you got for 4? Number 4. Go.
That was
No, your 4B was Misery.
Castaway's my number 4.
Oh, okay. So we done that.
Yeah.
My number 4, Blood, Sex, and Booze. So
blood, sex, and booze, you kills me. That's my 5B.
that's really good.
This is I think this song is essentially like a perfected dominated love slave. Like it's the same aesthetic, it's the same kind of swing to it, same content. It's something that we've heard already before. It's just now it's perfected. It's a better version of that. And they've done like songs like this on the records before. It's just like this is the final product. But this is also very theatrical sounding. It's very big sounding, and we do get a lot. There's great like hard soft moments. There's quiet louds. There's a great groove. I think we get into the bridge part with like the woes. It's a good song, but again, like baby steps to American Idiot. This is telling us. This is telling us like get ready for something big.
Get ready for something not as good. Because
I agree. I don't think it's as good.
They lost a lot of the character on American Idiot. They expanded on some of the ideas on here, but they just made it so derivative of what was happening at the time in 2004.
Or accessible.
Accessible. That's fair. That's fair. But yeah, Blood, Sex, and Booze, it starts with that like mellotron or like that buzz. I don't even really know what it is. Billy Joel getting whipped by a dominatrix. Miss Simone, as she is credited on this album, whips him, and then it drops into this like classic Green Day swing kind of groove that Trey does so fucking well. Melodies and everything sound very like 1960s kind of throwback, the way he's like singing those melodies and everything too, which they do really well in a lot of their songs. There's a lot of good throwbacks to that era of music. Still very straightforward song, and I love it, man. I love it. Lyrically, it's all just about BDSM. I mean, like you said, they touched upon it on Dominated Love Slave from Kerplunk, but they they made it more adult on this one, not as goofy. Because I mean, in 2000, talking about BDSM and pop music, what the fuck? Nobody talked about this kind
Yeah,
of
nobody
shit.
talked about this kind
Nobody
of shit.
talked about it. And this is like not even done in a joking way. Like this is like talking about BDSM in a serious way. Like this is what Billy Joel is into. And who knows? Maybe the other two guys are too. I don't know.
But it's hidden. It's fucking hidden because like you just besides the first part where it's like the whipping and shit like that, like you really don't know what he's talking about because the way he sings on this one is so lazy. He sings really, really marbly mouth and fucking lazy. Like I don't know what the fuck he says, even for like a long time. Like the chorus, like the I'm in distress. Like I didn't really know what he's talked about, what he was saying. And the handcuff part, these handcuffs are too tight. Well, like I never knew what the fuck he said, just because he said it so lackadaisical and lazy.
Yeah.
So yes, this is a very aggressive, like sexually explicit song for a pop band of the 2000s, but they hide it fucking well.
They do. And and also going back to like the style of the band of this era is that the way Billy Joel sings
Got him.
is very lackadaisical. It's very lazy and I don't want to say monotone because it's not monotone, but it's something
This is almost deliberately monotone though.
This song in particular, yeah, but overall he still has that very kind of lazy kind of drawl to it, to his voice, which he loses almost entirely on American Idiot on that record. And I hate just going back to American Idiot so much, but I mean you have to do it because this technically is a transition record into it.
It leads up to what they think is going to be their best,
which ends up being like I mean, could you say that American Idiot is bigger than Dookie? I don't think it didn't sell as many records.
I did say like arguably American Idiot is more important than Dookie.
Yeah, but from a commercial standpoint, I don't think it sold as many records as Dookie. Maybe the subsequent
not in
touring
itself. I think touring. I think merch. I think like how it affected people, like what it inspired. Yeah, I think so. But going back to like the Billy Joel thing, like because I never even realized like the deliberate monotone on this thing, especially in the chorus, like I'm in distress, mistress, but like we really don't get until the very end, like for blood, sex, and booze, like, you give me right that last part where he really tones it down. Yeah. He really deliberately sings monotone in this, and I think it's to hide what he's fucking talking about. Like that kind of just dawned on me. Yeah, because my head is in the gutter, think you stuck up another man. Like, you know what the fuck he says?
I know.
Like, how long? Like, until you read the lyrics, you have no idea what the fuck.
I know.
He
I
says.
didn't really know what he was saying. But that honestly, that's most Green Day for me. Like most Green Day, I love. I still don't even know what he says. I listened to Dookie 1,000, 2,000 times. I don't know what he says on most of that record. I can guess, and I just make noises.
Do you also think?
Stupid. Dumbest joke you've ever done.
They actually hired a dominatrix for that intro part. They actually hired a dominatrix for a full hour, but that intro part took like 5 minutes, and they still paid for it. So they were like, "Fuck it, dude, just fuck with like the engineer or one of the guys in the band for the next like 45 minutes to an hour." Did you watch that? There was like a little David Cross did this plug for this record. It was like 20 minutes long. And it was this like promo thing that David Cross did about this specific record, and it was so dry, and he kept calling the band by the wrong name and like the band members by the wrong name, and it was really fucking funny.
I like David Cross. I think he's very.
But
funny.
I watched it in the beginning of the week, and then like I forgot about it till now. But it was actually really funny.
Should have told me.
Should have told me. Should have known better. Forgot though.
Clearly.
I like there's so much stuff going on. We're talking, the dogs are barking, the monkeys are clapping.
Yeah. Let's get into your 5B. What's your 5B here?
Fuck, if it was me, I'd put them both in the bathroom, and I would put one behind the shower door and the other one in front, so they can still like look at each other. That's what I would do.
All right, so what do you got? What's your number 5? Your 5B, 5-banger. Go.
I think Blood, Sex, and Booze my 5B.
Oh, it is. Okay, so my 5B is Macy's Day Parade. The last song, the closer.
Day Parade. That's my 6B.
Okay, so This is, like I said, last song. Mostly it's acoustic bass. I know I got something in my eye. It's acoustic bass. It starts with that just the really simple chord progression, strumming, just very very simple, straightforward stuff. Mike and Trey come in, just subtle beat, nothing crazy, but it's kind of monotone, but it really trudges along real nice, and it's very somber, melancholy sounding. I think it's a great fucking song. I do love this song, and I think it's a perfect closer to the whole song. It never
Perfect
really
closer.
it never really builds into anything, but it doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to build into this grand, huge thing. It's a great fucking song. The video's dumb, but that's okay.
Video's cute. I get why the video exists, but no, I agree. I think it's a perfect closer. I think there are enough like peaks and valleys here. I think it does build, and there is relief. I think there's a lot of things here that make it interesting to listen to, but overall, it doesn't want to do anything more than just being just like a monotone kind of like folky song. And that's like a lot of folk music. It's just there's a little bit of build and there's a little bit of relief. There's a little bit of tension, and it's allowed to resolve because, you know, like we build it up just a little bit. And it's only a couple times too. And it's not that big. It's very, very subtle. It's all about the subtleties. And the song isn't crazy. It's not grand. There's nothing really going on. It's just a good fucking closer.
Absolute banger of a closer. I do like the lyrics a lot on this one. It's his criticism on consumerism, talking about, you know, how on Thanksgiving, you know, it's not really about being thankful. It's about getting in line for, you know, Black Friday and that kind of shit, and just being consumed by products and advertising, and just talking about where society was at the time, and honestly still is, but in a slightly different way. But I thought the lyrics were good. I think it had a good message. You know, calling these things out. But,
they're great. And like they call it Macy's Day Parade. I mean, like that's a huge fucking like parade
on Thanksgiving Day, yeah.
And like, but it's all corporations that own those fucking floats, right? It's all like,
well, I mean, it's called Macy's Day Parade.
It's all big names.
By
and so,
Macy's. Yeah.
And so you take your kids out and you go and you sit down and you wait for hours and hours on Thanksgiving, and like, oh, look at fucking, you know, the Sears float or Tower Records float. It's like, damn, dude, that sucks. Like, where's like the mom and pop float, right? Like, no, it's all fucking consumerism. So even like something
or whatever, like cartoon character, or
something
it's all consumer.
Innocent and cute can still be taken over by big corporations and consumerism. So no, it's fun. It's cool. It's a good song.
It's a great song. I don't think it's not a song, you know, we could really break down a lot because there's not a ton.
It's just fucking
here.
good. It's just such a good
song,
melody.
Yeah. It's the main melody, or the melody in it. It's kind of pretty. It's just good, man. Just straight up good. So that's my number 5, Macy's Day Parade. That's your 6,
good.
Right?
That's my 6.
All right, my number 6 is Church on Sunday. Let's get into this.
Do you want to go to church on Friday? This is top tier filler for me.
Okay.
It's TTF.
It's a very upbeat pop rock song in the vein of the Ramones, thrown in there, but like good Ramones. You know what I mean? Chorus is super, super fucking catchy. I really like this song. I don't think it's filler, but it's mid banger for me.
I love that. I love that drum intro. That and then I like this one. Shit. This one definitely solidifies this record as being like folk punk. Like this is it. It's very catchy, like very catchy verses as usual, because Billy Joel's can write extremely catchy verses. But Billy Joel's really gets at it with like those open, distorted chords again. Like he's always doing this shit, and that's what this song is all about. Like open, distorted chords, a lot of noise, a lot of textures, a lot of layers. But it's just they're a 3-piece. They're a 3-piece at heart. And like I do think this song is top filler, but like, man, that last chorus they add, that little triplet part, that like, do you, when they go church on dun 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 dun.
Yeah, I know
you know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Like that little last triplet instead of the fucking quarter notes to add a little bit of depth. Like that's so fucking good.
Once again,
like,
it's
God
Trey.
Damn.
Man. It's Trey who adds so much nuance to these songs and so much flair to a lot of these songs.
It is
His
Trey. It is
transitions, his
Trey.
transitions.
But I don't want to discount and like we don't talk about Mike a lot, and Mike's a good bass player
Great
for
bass
a
player.
punk band. But Billy Joel is a phenomenal guitar player. He's a phenomenal musician and an incredible songwriter. So
I
like,
agree.
yes, it is Trey, but that little triplet part at the end of it, like I feel like that's BJ and Trey,
Yeah, I would agree.
and
I
like
would agree.
that is the reason.
Interplay almost.
That's the reason why this is like top tier filler and not just an okay song for me. Is because of that. Well, you want to go to church on Sunday? That little last triplet, fucking
That
incredible.
one part.
So good. It's just so good.
It is.
You don't need
No,
to do
totally
it.
is.
Harkening back to like When I Come Around, when Billy Joel's like adding that open or that minor E in that chord progression. Like we don't need to do it, but fuck, man, it really lets the song loose. It really adds some depth to the song.
Yeah. Yep. And also, so lyrically on this song too, there is a no list lyric on here. The very first line of this whole song is, "Today is the first day of our lives, of the rest of our
The
lives."
rest of our lives.
That is on the no list. Like that is a no list thing right there. So
But we've never had a
It-
sung thing on the no list. So
but
it's fine.
it's still on the no list. So it's very cheesy, stupid, and
It is very
duh.
stupid.
But yeah, I don't know. So I just wanted to point that out. But in the end, it's about a relationship on the rocks. You know, one person wants to go to like, you know, more conventional therapy to try to work it out and make things better. But the compromise is the other partner wants to go to church and say maybe church can fix this. So it's like it's finding this compromise, which in turn is the kind of therapy in itself. You got to find compromise when you're fighting with your partner. So it's a good song. It has a good meaning. It's very positive. You know, a lot of Green
A lot of
Day in the
positive
'90s.
vibes.
Yeah, a lot of Green Day in the '90s was very depressing, negative, cynical. But Church on Sunday, it honestly has a good message. Like even if you have your differences, you know, compromise, baby. It's all about compromise.
Billy Joel's has never been like a complex, deep songwriter, but he's always been able to like adequately articulate his thoughts in like incredibly fucking catchy tunes to where like I understand what you're saying, and it kind of relates to like all common folk, right? Like he's not this complex guy that's writing these fucking things where we need to dissect through. But at the same time, he's not just writing like garbage where it's like, oh, that's kind of stupid. Like everything means something, and it ties into like either the theme of the album, the song, the chorus, the verse, whatever he's saying. Like, dude's just a fucking good songwriter.
He is. He really is.
God damn.
God damn. So
God damn.
do we have anything else on this song?
On Church on Thursdays?
Church on
No.
Thursdays. Oh, my video. Okay, sorry. There we go. So Church on Sunday, my 6B, lower B
Lower
for you.
beers.
So what's your 7B?
Deadbeat Holiday.
That is my least favorite song on this album. But let's get into it.
What? That's your
Well, me.
least favorite song? That's your least favorite song over Waiting?
Yeah,
Oh, you're such a fucking
I-
butt muncher through and through.
And honestly,
you munch so many butts.
I mean, it's true. No,
That's wild, dude. Waiting is like the worst song on this record.
that intro is just so. It's
For
just
Waiting
so
or Deadbeat?
Deadbeat Holiday. That intro. I mean, you kind of get that kind of droning thing, that mellotron maybe. I don't know what it is. But then just you get the
Wake
one.
up, the house is on fire. The cat's caught
Oh,
on
it's
the
so annoying.
stove.
And it's just him and the guitar, the strumming. That strumming. I don't like it at
Actually,
all.
per like a 2010-ish tweet, Billy Joel's had said that his cat was actually caught in the dryer. So,
So that's why. Okay, that's
That's
where
facts.
the lyric
That's
came
facts.
from. Okay, that's fine.
but like I like that we get like super busy Trey under BJ's strumming. Like again, very deliberate chords, very loud. And like, God damn, dude, get the fuck out of here if this is not a catchy song. It's so
it's
fucking catchy.
That's catchy. But come on, man.
You're a
It's-
wild boy.
It's kind of more of the same on the record. And I don't think they really did anything that different. I'm not saying this is filler because it's not, and it's certainly a fucking great song. But I had to put this song somewhere, and it doesn't really do that much. It doesn't really do anything that much different than the other songs.
I would
don't know.
I would be okay with you if this was second to last, but the fact that you put Waiting above this fucking really irritates me. Because Waiting is the worst song on this record.
Okay.
It's such a basic bitch song.
It is a very basic bitch song, but it's
Like
catchy.
literally, this song fucking rips, dude. Like this song's pretty dope because it's so dark and it's so depressing. Like nothing goes right, everything seems lost. Like the last line of that chorus, where like he says, "At least you're not alone." It's pretty dope. And I remember as a fucking kid, dude. I remember like 'cause, you know, as we were near kids, we thought like no one could possibly understand what I'm going through. This is the only. I'm the only person ever in the history of the fucking universe that's going through what I'm going through right now. And I remember like reading that lyric, and I was like, dude, that's so true. That's so true, Billy Joel.
Speaks to me.
That's so true.
Billy Joel speaks to me.
Get lost in your books, Billy Joel.
Exactly.
But it's still cute. It's a good song.
Adorable.
I would have been okay if this was your second to least, but I can't be okay with this being below Waiting. I just can't do it. I'm sorry.
I do like in the verses though, you know, with the palm muted kind of downstrokes on there, and then it builds, and then there's the sleigh bells going. Like there's a nice tension and a nice build in the verses into the chorus, which is really cool. I mean, honestly, this song, it's a great song. It really, really is. But I had to put it someplace in the list, and
Put it
doesn't
above
hit
Waiting.
quite as
I
hard.
don't understand like why
doesn't
it
hit
can't just
quite
be
as
above
hard.
Waiting.
But it's okay.
As Waiting? Because you've heard Waiting before. This is a cover song.
Okay, so
And it's not a good cover song either. It's shitty.
okay. So let's move on since you're being very fussy right now.
I'm very
so
fussy now.
It'd be was your 7B then, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so my 7 is Warning. The opener. This is the second single. Yeah, the second single from the record. Really, honestly, this song is bass driven, with that walking bass line, and just acoustic guitar, kind of bigger, heavier, kind of sounding drums from a production standpoint. Super fucking catchy. I mean, this song is incredibly fucking catchy.
Yeah.
Musically though,
100% rip off from the Kinks.
yeah. But then there's also the one song. What song? Hold on, I wrote it down.
Get fuck that band. The other ones are some shit from the 90s.
There's an English band called Other Garden. They ended up suing Green Day because there's a song of theirs called Never Got the Chance that they claimed Green Day stole. You know, they stole parts of that song. And honestly, I did listen to that song, Never Got the Chance. The bass line is almost identical.
Did you listen to the Kinks song?
I didn't listen to the King song, no.
Oh my god.
I didn't.
Because you listen to the Kinks song, this is a cover song also.
Is
God,
it?
how would you?
Which I can see that. I can see that. It does have a lot of kinks. It does have a lot of
Billy
kinks.
Joel said in interviews during this time that he was listening to a fuck ton of Kinks. And
Kinks
again,
and Bob Dylan, yeah.
And again, Kinks, dude, like kind of the OG punkers. They're like some of the first like bands to use like distorted guitars in pop music. So like I get it. But like, dude, the Kinks picture book is this song. And like the other band, the other fucking ones or whatever, they said they stole our song. It's like, dude, you also stole from the Kinks. Like if anything, both of you guys should be paying the Kinks.
I think with the band, the Other Garden, I think it's just the bass line. It's not the rest of the song. It's not the melody. It's just the bass line.
That's the Kinks song.
Okay.
The doom 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 doom. That's the Kinks song.
It's pretty much just them running a scale.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why it never went anywhere.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's just him running a scale.
But again, butts are pooping.
That's true.
Listen to that. This is on your to-do list. Type it down with your hands.
Type it down with your hands.
Go and listen to the Kinks picture book. You'll be like, oh yeah, fuck that. You'll hear that and you'll be like, oh yeah, fuck that other band.
Fuck Green Day too. Fuck Green Day.
No, well, I mean, but Green Day like never like pretend. Billy Joel's never like pretended not to steal shit, unlike Jimmy Page and everybody else pretending not to steal shit. Like how Led Zeppelin just been like, yeah, we fucking took this stuff. These are inspirations. Let's pay royalties to these guys. A whole different ball game. Like that is forever like a tarnish on their legacy. It's gross. It's plagiarism at its finest. But Jimmy Page is such a fucking cock gobbler. It's annoying. But anyway, Warning. It's a great song. I love this fucking video.
I do too. I think it's one
like
of the best
video
videos
on the radio. Yeah, for sure. It's amazing. It's for sure the best video on the record. And yeah, probably one of the they don't do videos like where I'm like blown away by them.
Basket Case was always really good. Basket Case was a cool video.
But it was just because like the color scheme, right? Like the inverted colors and shit like that. NC Billy's fucking Stratocaster, like that iconic like blue fucking Stratocaster was always like, oh fuck, that's so cool. Yeah. But like that wasn't a great video. This is a good video.
It is a very good video. I mean, the video is just them playing in a kitchen of this guy's kitchen, and the guy almost every shot he's doing something he shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, he's gonna fucking die.
Yeah. He's running with scissors down the hallway. He's
that part's so good.
He's taking a bath in dirty
fucking
water,
full on
and then
scissors up, dude.
and then he's in his dirty bath water, putting rubbing soap in his eye. Just every single thing.
Oh my
God! He's just doing the gnarliest fucking or drinking curdled milk. He's driving a car on his cell phone, eating at the same time while he's driving. He's running across traffic, not looking.
There's like construction and shit going on outside.
Yeah, and then the end of the video, he's eating raw chicken. Like it shows him cutting up raw chicken and eating raw chicken. It's like it just doing everything you should not be doing, and lyrically, the whole song. Almost every line is a common warning sign you hear and read in everyday life. That's what this song is. But I think, the subtext of this is it's him talking about how we just kind of all blindly follow these rules and regulations, and we just never really take chances in life because of all the rules. And so it's his criticism of that. Of just blindly following the stuff and following whatever everybody else does, but the lyrics are clever. The lyrics are
on that note. It could also be like even on a more micro level, like the opening record or the opening song for their new record, Warning, off of Warning. It's saying like, "Hey, dude, this is something fucking different. This is something you've never heard before, and this is something that you're not gonna like probably, and it's gonna be weird, but give it a chance."
I like that too.
Probably not that, but that's what I like to think. But it could be. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I like it. And also,
Billy Joel's.
So there's something more about this record I want to talk about. It's kind of off topic, but I thought of not off topic, but it has nothing to do with the song Warning, but how it was made. Or actually, I can talk about it after. Are we good with this song? Do we want to talk about the song more? Okay. Because in the end we only have 3 songs left to talk about. But something about the recording of this record. Prior to this, Dookie, Insomniac, Nimrod, they had worked with Rob Cavallo as a producer. For this record, Warning, they decided to go with somebody else, somebody who's not Rob Cavallo. They went with a guy named Scott Litt who worked with REM, a lot of like the indie grunge era bands, and they pretty much did almost like almost a full record with him, and then they realized this isn't very good, so they ended up dropping him, redoing everything with Rob Cavallo. And it just kind of makes you think, like, do you think this band would really be as good without Rob Cavallo? Because he did everything from Dookie up through Trey. He didn't do Revolution Radio, Father of All. He didn't do anything between Trey and Saviors. He came back to do Saviors, and then we get Saviors.
American Idiot.
He did do American Idiot. He also did 21st Century Breakdown, which is the worst, but
and that's fine. I get that. That's okay. Like at that point, like once American Idiot hit, like whatever you do after that is inconsequential. If you have a great career after that, awesome. If you have a shitty career after that, who gives a fuck? You did American Idiot.
Yeah.
You peaked. They peaked in American Idiot.
Okay. All right. I get it. I get it. But
in the eyes of pop stardom, they peaked in American Idiot.
Yeah. In the end, Rob Cavallo is such an important part of this band. And honestly, they wouldn't have gotten where they were without Rob Cavallo. So you have to throw a lot of credit to him. Because like I said, if you listen to a lot of the Green Day without him, or bands outside of Green Day, they're just not nearly as good as the Rob Cavallo stuff. Just the way she goes. So,
I mean, like,
we'll throw that out there.
like how many fifth Beatles are there, right? Like if we can give credit to like George Martin or Brian Epstein or Jeffrey Epstein or everybody else, like why can't we give so much credit to like Rob Cavallo or Jerry Finn?
Right?
With
Jerry Finn, yeah, Jerry Finn.
Like,
yeah.
If not, like pop punk would not be where it is today had it not been for Jerry Finn. So like, absolutely, fuck yeah, Rob Cavallo for sure, absolutely.
Yeah. And even in a modern sense, I don't like saying it, but John Feldman in modern day, like
Feldy.
I don't like the music that he puts out with certain artists or with a lot of artists, but that shit sells, man. He knows how to write modern pop rock hits. Don't
and like even like some of the John Feldy stuff that he gets his grimy little fingers into, it's still better than like other stuff that I hear come out from like MGK, although the relationship there, but other pop rock acts that I hear come out.
Yeah, I agree.
Can't think of any off the top of my head, but
that's okay. So let's get. You just want to run through the last 3 songs?
I have a lot of notes for the last 3 songs actually. So,
okay,
yeah, we'll run through them. Here we go.
What's
order.
next?
Hold on. 9B.
10B. Let's go.
Hold on. Good folk punk track. Again, but this one's definitely more like folk than punk. This is the other one that I thought, besides Fashion Victim, was like the best interpretation of them doing folk punk. Like, remember we did Chumbawamba, and we're like, holy fuck, dude! These guys not only have, 97 albums before Tub Thumping, but it's also this weird like anarcho punk folk thing that like I never really dove into, and it's really cool. But like, god damn, dude, hold on, it's such a good swing and good melody, and those little pauses in the chorus again that add like nice little touch that we talked about earlier with the triplets. Nice little touch to like a pretty straightforward song. But what's great about this song is like the verses don't need to like rhyme, right? Like we get like a normal verse rhymes and rhymes and rhymes, whatever. But like we get rhyming in the second part of each line. So we have the first line doesn't rhyme, and the second part, right, says like one line, and then the third line of the verse doesn't rhyme with the first line of the verse. Okay. So you think like if we're talking like A-B structure or A-B-C-B structure, nothing rhymes. The only part that rhymes is there's repeating themselves, which is not a traditional rhyme scheme. We're just like rhyming a word with itself is one thing, but then rhyming an entire sentence with itself is a whole different like concept. And that's some folk fucking shit right there.
Okay.
That is wild shit right there. Just to like
shit better than
repeat, like you can say whatever you want to say, but then you repeat like, Susanna, don't you come, and then you say whatever the fuck you want to say, but Susanna, don't you come, and like just say it over and over and over and over. You're not rhyming that Susanna part, right? You're just saying it over and over and over. Thus, it gets stuck in your head and becomes a rhyme. Like that's what Hold On. Dude, Hold On's fucking, this is a great song. It's my 9B, but this song's incredible. It's fucking incredible, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly like a mid-tempo folk jam. A lot of harmonica. I'm not a big harmonica guy, but it's a little much. But I get it. It's what they were going for with this genre. But honestly, it's Trey that elevates this song above everything. Like without his playing, you wouldn't have that same swing. You wouldn't have those transitions. Also, Mike rips it up with those transitions. Like his parts are incredible. Like this song would not flow nearly as well had it not been for Mike and Trey, and they are the ones that truly shine on this. I think Billy writes a good folk song. He really, really does. He writes a good folk song, but Mike and Trey just completely just elevate this and put it up on the next level. Like they really elevate it. So that's what I have here. But yeah, lyrically about addiction, overcoming it. Even when you think you won't be able to, you just kind of find that strength to get through it and break the habit. So that's what I have later.
Breaking the habit tonight.
God, that's such a bad Linkin Park song. I hate that.
Yeah, that
song
sucks.
That song really sucks.
Because that's how it draws out like tonight. It's gross.
It's so cheesy and dumb.
2 more songs, baby girl. Jackass.
Yeah, let's
the
get
Vandal
into it.
song.
That's my 9B.
Run tour. This is a top tier filler for me.
Okay.
top
Very-
tier filler for me.
Very normal Green Day kind of song. So yeah, I
Off
get
the
it.
bat, like I get huge, well-respected man by the Kinks vibes from this intro.
Mhm.
Like the well-respected man. I don't know. But it's cool. Like Billy Joel again has said that he listened to a lot of the Kinks in this time, so I don't mind it. I like it. I don't care about it. And the Kinks have never come out and been like, "Oh, fuck this guy, he's taking all our songs," because the Kinks also know that they're taking
Yeah,
a lot
they-
from
they
blues
took-
artists.
Exactly.
So it's super dope. But otherwise, this is definitely top tier filler. I like Mike's bass. I think it punches through at just the right times. Like right before transitions, we get it. At the end of like early lines in the chorus, we kind of get it. And then we get those pauses in the verses again. So it's cool. But the biggest takeaway, bro, the biggest takeaway of this song and almost the whole album is a sax solo. There's a
Super cool.
fucking sax solo. Like why I love it. I think it's amazing, but it's like, how do you what are you doing here? This is a folk punk record. Why is there a sax solo here? And why does it work so well?
It does.
I don't like that.
All the weird, quirky instruments that are all over this record. Everything is well placed, and it all makes sense for some reason. For some reason, it all makes
Like
sense.
fuck you, dude. Fuck you for like being ambitious and putting together a folk punk record, and then saying, you know what, a folk punk record really needs is a sax solo.
Saxophone.
Like fuck you, man. What a dick.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's all I got for that one, and then we'll get into your. to your one
I
later.
just so like also the vocal melody in Jackass, the way he can like scales down and that they like maybe it's scaling down, like that main melody he sings in the chorus. I fucking love it. I don't know how to explain it, but I fucking love it. But in the end, this is a very safe song.
I don't care.
Yeah. If you don't, is
That's
that
also
scaling
very
down?
Kink sounding. Yeah, because like
Yeah, because you're going lower, so you're scaling
Yeah.
down. Okay. Yeah. But also in the end, this is a very, very safe song for them. It's very, very Green Day style. And also lyrically, this is them criticizing people who think they are funny when they're actually not. They're just idiots and fake people.
not about Blink 182.
So a lot of rumors at the time were saying, oh, this is them criticizing Blink because, in 2000, this is before the Pop Disaster Tour, and Blink had kind of taken the reins on the whole pop punk scene or punk scene in general. And this is the
For sure
criticism of Mark and Tom. And honestly, if it is, I wouldn't be surprised because after reading Mark's book and watching interviews over the years, I could kind of see that. But I think what it comes down to is just jealousy on the part of these three guys. Maybe not Mike, because Mike seems like a really cool guy, but
Trey for sure is like the most.
Trey for sure. Yeah, he's the
I haven't
most
got to that part in the book yet, but Trey definitely seems like the most jealous type of the three.
and surprised. That's why he's not in the Writing in Vans with Boys documentary.
Exactly.
So spoiler, but yeah. So that's supposedly what this song is about. It's the criticism of, or them criticizing Blink for not being funny. But it's like, dude, if you don't think Blink's funny, then you have no sense of humor. If you don't think Tom's funny, come on. Yeah, he's immature, but he's fucking funny as hell.
And we'll get way more into Mark's book on next week's episode when I finish it. But the whole chapter of like them in the early days and Mark's mom coming out to support them was just like, it was so cute. It was so endearing.
Okay, I'm glad you liked it. Yes,
And like the
fuck
fact
yeah.
that like Mark's mom like co-signed to buy Tom a Fender Strat, dude. Like that's just so cute.
Mark's mom is like, seems like such a cool and sweet lady.
And she's I know she's just sitting back there shocked as fuck when they're saying the worst possible jokes, but she endured, man. She just took it like a champ.
Wait,
Took it on the chin, dude.
did you get to the? I don't know. I won't say the joke because in case you haven't got to it, it's like, damn, dude, he actually said that to his mom. But yeah, anyway, it was in a very early show. What he said to her about. Never mind.
Was
That's
he talking about like tickling the balls and things like that?
No.
See-
I'll just fucking say it. He said it was like earlier on, but it was still like it was like a show at Soma, or it was like the first time we played at Soma or something. And he says, "Yeah, my mom's here. She's in the back. She gives the best blowjobs ever."
Oh yeah,
And it's just like, fuck, man, that's wild.
keeping it kayfabe, dude. Keeping it
Love it.
kayfabe.
So yeah,
What a
let's
champ.
get into Waiting.
The
la-
worst song on
No.
the record.
11 banger, 11B for me. So out of the 12. So let's get into it. Let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
Very 90s alt rock song. Starts with,
PlayStation. Get into it.
Billy singing, playing guitar, very kind of Everclear almost, right? Right?
I mean, it's just this is a cover song, so
Okay. It's fun.
it's downtown. It's Petula Clark's downtown.
Yeah, it is. It is.
is.
Yeah.
Also, like every time I hear this song, it always reminds me of the Seinfeld episode when I don't know if you probably seen it. I don't know if you remember, but then George, Mr. Steinbrenner, no, not Mr. Steinbrenner, Mr. Wilhelm tells George to do something, and George doesn't hear him because he goes in the bathroom, and he thought he was supposed to follow him into the bathroom, but he didn't follow him into the bathroom. So as he was in the bathroom, he talked about the project, but George was outside the bathroom. So when he comes out, he's like, "Oh, so you get it, right?" And George's like, "Yeah, I get it." And the whole episode is him trying to figure out what the fuck he said while he was in the bathroom. And then one part of the story was when he asked Mr. Wilhelm, he's like, "Where should I go next?" He's like, "You haven't been downtown? You got to go downtown." And so him and Jerry talk, and like downtown, like the Petula Clark song, right? Like, yeah, downtown. And then they go over the lyrics. They go, "Lights will be shining when you're downtown."
Wow.
That reminds me of that.
That
You
entire
had to be
episode.
there.
No, I
You had to be there.
I
You had to be
vaguely
there.
remember that episode, but I haven't watched Seinfeld nearly as much as you, so I can't quote it like you and Mike can. But I get it. This song, it's essentially a cover. It's
How the
essentially
fuck
a cover.
is
I
this
get
not like your worst
It's
song?
still-
That's
but it's
crazy
still
to
a
me.
great song. Get the fuck out of here. It's still great. It's still so fucking catchy. And then when he yells "Wake up, wake up!"
That's
and
the
then it's a
worst
big
part of the
instrumental-
song.
Big instrumental. Come
Wake
on,
up!
it's fun. It's
Oh,
fun.
it's so
Da-na-na-da-na-da, da-na-na-da-na-na.
This is like equally cheeseballs to like Good Riddance, but it's just not as good. Straight up.
All right, that's fine. It's fine. They made a video for this one too. The video was stupid. A lot of bright colors, and it's just them playing in somebody's house, and everybody around them is in slow motion, but they're moving normally, and that's what it is. But I love his guitar. I do love Billy Joe's guitar. That TV yellow, mustard yellow,
Yeah.
Les Paul Jr.
He's
fucking
always
love
had
it.
good fucking guitars,
I
dude.
love his
He's always
guitars,
had good
yeah.
guitars.
And I'm a sucker for that TV yellow, the mustard yellow. That's my. I have
Like mustard. Look at your mic sock. Mustard.
Well, this is orange, but that's okay. I mean, you can't see colors, but that's okay.
I'm colorblind, so that's fun that you made fun of me for that.
You're not. I know you're not. But
Now you know me. Okay.
well, I do. I've known you for 24 years. Like we
But you
literally.
didn't know
just-
my eyes? Do you know my eyes? Got them.
Yeah, brown. Got him again. Got him
Are
again.
they really brown? I can't see my eyes. I don't know.
Your
if
eyes
they're
are brown. Yeah.
Well, you're looking at it right now, actually. So you
No,
know,
come on.
Cheater, pumpkin eater, had a wife,
so
and then
anyway,
he
yeah.
beat her.
The video is dumb, but I love his guitar. So anyway, let's give our final thoughts on this record, Warning from Green Day. Let's rate it based off of our world famous 3-point rating system, where 3 is a perfect album, 2 is a good album you're going to continue to listen to, 1 is a bad album, give it a shot, and 0 is the worst thing you've ever heard. What do you got? Go.
I've actually never even realized, like it just dawned on me now, that their videos aren't great. Like they're a band that's achieved like international stardom. Like they've been on top of the world. But their music videos aren't very good.
They're not.
Like that's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. This record is wild, dude. This record is the step in the right direction for American Idiot, because we're talking like late 90s, 2000s. Pop punk is dominating, and Green Day was pop punk, and they were billed as pop punk. They were really never that pop punk, though. So when deciding to do something like this, right? Like after Insomniac, like where do we go from here? The knee jerk reaction is like, oh, let's just do what everyone else is doing, but do it better. But like, no, let's regress. Let's get back to like folk music of the 60s, and let's do a folk punk record. They had to have known everyone is going to fucking hate this. Like, who would fucking like this? No one's going to like this. Like, get the fuck out of here. This is crazy. They've already seen bands come out with things that are so different from their first record. And like Pinkerton is like the biggest thing you could possibly think of in the 90s leading into the 2000s. The fact that they thought, see, I don't think that. I don't think they thought people would like this. I think they knew people would not like this, but they didn't give a shit because they're Green Day. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
I think they're already percolating on American Idiot. Not like American Idiot in the form that we know it now, but American Idiot in like the idea that we know of American Idiot. I think it's already been there. It's percolating. And I think like Warning comes out and they tested the waters and they see like the reception of it and it wasn't good, but they were just like, fuck it, dude. Like Jimmy rolled with Clarity, right? This is our last chance. Let's spend all of our money, all of our time doing this one thing. So Warning, like there would be no American Idiot without Warning. Like
I would agree, yeah.
For sure. Like there would be no American Idiot at all without Warning. And like Green Day could have done Insomniac and Dookie over and over and over and over, and like who gives a fuck. But I do think American Idiot is maybe their most important. I don't know. But this is a good record, man. This is a fantastic record. I hate to give it a 3 because Waiting is just not a good song. I really don't like that song.
It's a good song. Shut the fuck up. Just in the context of the record, it's not the best, but it's still a great fucking song.
It's so dumb.
Shut the fuck up. You talk about how much you love Zeppelin 1 and you give that a fucking perfect score too.
Zeppelin 1? Who doesn't give Zeppelin 1 a perfect fucking score?
Exactly, but it's all
Get outta
covers.
here.
It's all fucking covers.
Yeah, good covers.
Get the fuck out of here.
I know nobody wants to hear
Waiting's
fucking.
good. Waiting's
I
good.
know nobody
Too.
wants to hear Tony Bennett and fucking Linda Ronstadt covers. I don't know. This is. Should I give this a 3 out of 3? I don't know if I should. I don't think I
You
should.
should. Don't be stupid. Don't give in to the pressures of outsiders. Just give it. Give it what you feel.
I can't.
Yeah, give it a perfect 3 out of 3. Just do it. Do
Okay,
it.
here's what I'm gonna do. Here's what I'm gonna do for you. I'm gonna do you a solid. I'm gonna do you a solid.
Give it a 3 out of 3. You dumbass.
I think because of the ambition, because of the genre bending, because of the expectations that were set out for them, and how they like circumnavigated those expectations and did something that they wanted to do, but also set up something that is going to be their magnum opus. For that, I will give this a 3 out of 3.
Okay.
But
Perfect.
But
I'm
the song
glad. I'm
Waiting,
happy. I'm
that song Waiting is fucking garbage.
Shut the fuck up. It's not garbage. Get the fuck out of
Skippable.
here.
I skip that shit on the
Get outta here.
CDs.
You don't
On
play
my
it
records,
the CD.
I scratch it out.
Just like I scratched out Badfish on Sublime. Sublime's 40 ounces.
Yeah.
All right. Final thoughts for me. I think this record is amazing. Nothing sounds like this in their entire discography. It's truly the standout record. They really just kind of did whatever the fuck they wanted to. They knew that their career was already on a downward trajectory. I wouldn't say spiral, but trajectory. Even though Good Riddance was a massive fucking song, even at that time it was massive. They just decided to kind of double down and just say, you know what, let's get even fucking more, not I guess experimental for them. And honestly, I think it worked. I think they wrote some incredible fucking songs. Yeah, they weren't this album wasn't commercially successful, but goddamn, dude, the songs are fucking incredible. And I do agree, without this record, there would be no American Idiot. But damn, they just wrote way better songs on this over American Idiot. This
For
album
sure.
is truly unique and just catchy as hell, and I love it. I really, really do love this record. Outside of nostalgia, I mean, it's still incredible, and I give this a perfect 3 out of 3. I don't do it often. But yeah, it's a perfect 3 out of 3. So
You'll also do it next week too, so we'll see what happens.
I don't know. We're doing Blink
I know.
next week, so I don't know. We'll see. We have something special planned for next week for the rankings.
We have to. We
For
have
the
to.
rankings. Because who wants to hear the same old boring Blink 182 rankings from us? So we're changing it up a bit.
Some of us like to change up our rankings a little bit, but
Well, I change them up all the time, but we're doing something a little bit different, a lot more fun next week. So anyway, so thank you all for listening. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts. My watch is going off, but
that's
okay.
you?
It's me.
Well, you're fucking looking around for then I've moved to my right ear.
So yeah, thank you all for listening. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Give us 5 stars. If you're watching on YouTube, smash that subscribe button. And that's all I got. And that's it. That's all.
Rob Cavallo.